Are you ready to embark on a journey through time and space? These towering structures have fascinated us for centuries with their precision, grandeur, and mysteries yet unsolved. We spent the last week repairing our ship. Its electronic parts were disabled by Tesla's electromagnetic fields emanating from the Egyptian pyramids. Finally, we have dealt with the problem and are heading to another, no less mysterious place. As we step into our futuristic spaceship, you can feel the excitement building up inside you. The countdown begins. Blast off to a world where history meets science fiction, where ancient wonders meet modern technology. Our destination, the pyramids of the Maya civilization in Central America. As we travel through space and time, you can't help but marvel at how far humanity has come since these two great civilizations first rose to prominence. From the Nile River Valley to the dense jungles of Mexico and Guatemala, our journey takes us on a thrilling ride across galaxies and centuries. We split into several smaller groups. Our drones separated from the main station and we began landing. We were not greeted very friendly. We did not expect such a meeting. Sorry, I have to interrupt my communication session. But in the meantime, check out our earlier story about the search for Atlantis and Egyptian pyramids. In the not-so-distant future, humanity has expanded its presence into outer space. The Cold War is still raging on Earth. The story follows two teams, the red team representing the powerful ex-Soviet and the World Coalition, comprised of nations from around the globe. As tensions rise between these two superpowers, they engage in an intense space war that will determine the fate of mankind with high stakes and heart-pounding action. Red Team versus World Coalition brings viewers on an unforgettable journey through the depths of space as both sides fight for supremacy among the stars.
Time is of the essence, and every second counts.
After that epic battle with the Crazed Reds, it took us a long time to return home. Most of our team was destroyed along with their spaceships. Survivors gathered at our large universal space station and headed home to Earth. We were shocked that the entire Earth was scorched. All life on the surface of the Earth was destroyed. We gathered at the command post of our station and thought for a long time that we had nowhere to return. One of our guys came up with the idea that we could try to find life underwater in the ocean over which we were located. One of the ideas was to search for the lost Atlantis. There were many legends about Atlantis, but no one had previously found real evidence of that legend. Our space station has been adapted for diving, but none of us splashed down in real conditions. We went down under the water, surprisingly successfully. Some of our smaller drone ships separated from us. We began to explore the underwater space, admire the preserved splendor of the cradle of all previously living humanity. Gradually descending deeper, we met biomechanical mutants. These were the descendants of genetically modified unsuccessful specimens of fauna developed by our once prosperous civilization. We sank deeper and deeper. Our radars and echo sonars began to record strange sounds and magnetic fluctuations. We were surrounded by, red hot balls, which seemed to begin to show us the way. The balls lined up in strange shapes. They looked like a Seafire line for submarines. We began to follow strictly this path. Our stations were constantly sending out a signal in the hope of hearing or seeing some sign. The beauty of the balls was mesmerizing. At some point, our radars detected that the balls were communicating with each other. But we didn't understand what they wanted to tell us. We have a version that the balls are somehow connected with the souls of once living people. But this, of course, looked utopian. Why not, though? The landscape gradually changed. We no longer observed mutated fish and reptile, only hot balls and glowing broken cables and wires. Having examined the plexus of cables in detail, our commander suggested that it all resembles DNA helixes. We began to receive the same information from our neighboring drone ships. Oh, miracle! We see some ruins and underwater tunnels. As we navigated through the tunnels and explored every corner of the underwater world, we were happy to confirm that the legend of Atlantis is real. We began to see fragments of once beautiful buildings more and more often, and they were more intact. There was no limit to our joy, but then something strange began. Our radars began to detect the movement of giant unidentified objects in our direction. They were rapidly approaching us, and anomalous magnetic pulses suppressed communication with our drones. Due to a strong electromagnetic pulse, we were de-energized. The devices went out. the connection was interrupted.
We were actually attacked by unknown submarines. We believe that some of the invaders from the Red Team survived that space battle. They tracked and chased us underwater. We sank 2 enemy submersibles. As strange as it may sound, sharks helped us in this. The same sharks that usually attack people. We continued our search for the lost Atlantis. In one of the tunnels, we found an underwater pier. Having landed on the pier, we went waist deep in viscous clay to explore. It turned out that the entire underground space was filled with oxygen, and we could breathe without spacesuits. These were strange rooms. There were many giant eggs on the surface, but for some reason there were a lot of wires and some kind of hoses connected to them. Our scientists and researchers began to study these objects. It turns out that these were reptiles and mutants that were grown in flasks and test tubes. The fiery orange balls were cold. Conversely, the balls shining with blue light turned out to be very hot. Our delight, me no bells. The air was filled with the summer aromas of a Bluelin garden. All rooms were different from each other. We moved further and further into the depths of the underground kingdom. I am stopping my recording until the next communication session.
As I stepped into the dimly lit chamber, my heart raced with excitement and anticipation. This was it, the underground biological laboratory of Atlantis. One chamber stood out from the rest. It was filled with rows upon rows of cryogenic pods, each containing a frozen specimen. Our findings were nothing short of astonishing. We had discovered a civilization that had mastered genetic engineering. Easier C would be traveled different influences in restaurating in the Western system in most of these videos. Also, looking at ready to mainly misapply. This problem is going to look at Interact, and some of my colleagues speculated that these devices were used for advanced genetic manipulation or even time travel. I couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the thought of what could have been possible in this lost civilization. It had even managed to create hybrids between different creatures, resulting in new life forms never before seen on Earth. My team and I encountered something truly extraordinary, beings that seemed to defy all known laws of nature. These ethereal creatures appeared as if they were made from shadows themselves, in their features indistinct, but somehow still beautiful in an otherworldly way. As they approached us, their voices soothing and calming, we realized that these beings were not here to harm us, but rather guide us on our journey through the depths of Atlantis. They spoke in hushed tones about the secrets of genetic manipulation and time travel, revealing how this lost civilization had harnessed powers beyond our wildest dreams. They showed us ancient texts detailing experiments with DNA sequences that resulted in new life forms never before seen on Earth. As we spent more time with these enigmatic beings, I began to feel a sense of peace wash over me. They were not here to harm us, but rather help us unlock the secrets of Atlantis, while so that we could learn from their mistakes and build a better future for all mankind. It became increasingly clear that this lost civilization had been far more advanced than anyone could have ever imagined. They had tapped into a global intellectual matrix, a network that connected all knowledge and wisdom across time and space. Despite it became apparent that the Atlanteans had access to information beyond our wildest dreams, and they used this knowledge for both good and ill. As we delved deeper into the labyrinthine tunnels, we encountered strange devices that seemed to be connected to the Matrix itself. It was both terrifying and exhilarating. Here was a civilization that had unlocked secrets beyond our understanding, yet they too had fallen victim to their own hubris. When it came time for us to leave this underground sanctuary, my team and I knew that our stay had been life-changing. We left with a sense of wonder at what else might be hidden beneath the surface of this mysterious lost city, but also with a deep appreciation for the knowledge we had gained from these ancient masters.
after Atlantis, we found in one of the underground tunnels, we discovered the mysterious Stargate. There were several of them, but we were only able to find the code for the first of them.
Do you copy? Over. Running time jump program. Opening the vortex. Start the countdown.
We entered the Stargate and were shocked by what we saw, whether we moved in time or ended up on another planet with exactly the same pyramids as in Egypt. You heard it's a tomb of Pharaoh or extraordinary civilization built it, or it was made for a higher purpose as traveling to space or as a gate to paradise.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We were shocked by what we saw, but I will tell you the absolute truth. We know well the pyramids were not built only in Egypt, but around all the world. And, thanks to the pyramid and wireless power, they could communicate and use energy around all the world for free. The truly unbelievable thing, which we do not have till now, transmission of wireless power. With wireless power is connected one very well-known name, Nikola Tesla. It is Nikola's renowned tower power. Tesla did not conceal that to this discovery. He used knowledge of ancient Egypt. Tesla was the first person to confirm that ancient Egypt used wireless power.
Mission log 2050-01. The entire population is under sleep. Oxygen levels are normal. We arriving at the destination. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We need a few basic things for wireless power to work. Sun, water under the pyramids, or tower to be in the right height of the air. If you put the tower to the right height of the air so that the energy will spread alone, top of the pyramids was made of gold, and as we all know, gold is electrically conductive. And then in the middle of the pyramids was a granite as an energy transceiver, and if we connect all of this together, we have wireless energy. But the golden pyramidal domes were also anti-gravity engines. With the help of these engines, the pyramids could move around the world. The pyramids are all over the world. And if their system worked, so they managed to light the whole world and transmit and share information really easily. Actually, they had today's internet, but of course in a slightly different form. The ancient Egyptians were very friendly to us. They revealed the truth to us and told us about the true purpose of the pyramids. We stayed in this mysterious place to find out the secret about the disappearance of the golden pyramidal domes.